So I'm finishing up my grapevine trellis today, and I wanted to talk a little bit about orchard quality gripples and heavy gauge wire. Now this wire here that I'm using is a 12.5 gauge wire, which is good for your grapevines, raspberry canes, whatever type of orchard trellis you might need. Now this device here is called a Gripple, and basically how it works is the wire goes in this way, and once it goes through, you can never pull it the other way. You can only continue to pull it tighter. So this is a fantastic little device for getting your wire nice and tight, which is a real problem unless you've got something like this. Now this little piece here is the Gripple Plus, and basically this little device here will allow you to make repairs. So let's say a wire were to break, you could actually stick wire in on one side and wire in on the other side, thread them through and pull them taut. And that's a handy little tool to have. You might want to have a few extra of these if you're installing some trellis. So I'm going to demonstrate how this works. So it comes in right through this end. See, now it's not going to go back the other way anymore. So if I want to pull this tight, I'll go ahead and pull it all the way. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and attach this here. So we just keep pulling it, and that's not going to come back out now. We'll pull that. That's nice and tight. You're probably better off doing. You're probably much better off using screws for this part, but I ran out of screws that fit, so I'm just making do with nails. But it'll actually still hold even without that, without screwing it down or nailing the Gripple down. Now, I'm not going to pull it. There's one more step to getting it to be very taut, and that's the tension tool. And basically what we're going to do is we'll stick the wire all the way through and torque it down. But I'm going to do the other wire first, and we'll come back to the tensioning. I don't want to do just one side because I'm afraid it's going to pull my posts if I tension it too tight. So I'm going to do the other side, so that way we don't torque the posts. So we got this wire here is all nice and tight. So now we're going to go ahead and get the second part of the trellis wire. Now this torsioning tool, what you're going to want to do is you take the end of the wire and thread it through. I'll try and I can show this a little better. It's going to thread it through, take it all the way to the back, and then once we open it all the way up, it opens the grip, and then the torsional grips the wire, and then we go ahead and pull it. And that's going to get it pretty tight. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now if you want to do more, take that off and go ahead and pull your tool off. I think that's pretty good. I'm not going to tension that more. Next thing, I don't want to leave this much. I like to leave a little bit of the wire left, because just in case I need to reattach the torsioning tool at some point, I have enough slack to do so. I'll go ahead and clip off that much and tuck it under so it looks a little bit neater. So these top ones are nice and tight. So as you can see, these wires are pretty tight now. I mean, this is a pretty long run, and I've got it torqued pretty good. And I've tried doing this with other type of wire and without the tensioning tool, and it's just very difficult to get this type of torque and this type of rigidity on a trellis. So I definitely highly recommend the Gripple, which I think is the most important part. And then obviously to get it really nice and tight, you'll need the tensioning tool and you'll need good solid posts. That way when you go to tighten it, it doesn't start to pull your posts.